Hi, I'm Weiser, and the global issue that I want to discuss today is the environment. When I sat down to try to decide what I wanted to do research and speech on as far as a global issue, the environment really came to me pretty quickly. Most people are beginning to realize now that it's time we need to really put some work in, that things need to start going back to the way they were, and we need to start thinking of better ways to preserve the environment to hopefully get it back to the way it was, or at least halt the problems that we're having right now. I have been pretty much always active in as far as recycling, reusing, reducing waste. My family's always been that way. Right now, my house, we grow some vegetables. We have a couple of compost piles where we put yard waste and food vegetable byproducts and things like that you can put into the compost. And we use that later on to put back into the vegetable garden. We also recycle all of our regular goods, milk cartons and whatnot here weekly. And when I go to the grocery store, I bring my grocery bags, and I have a couple that I have a bunch of different ones that I like. I have this one that is from Whole Foods that Cheryl Crow actually designed. It's really durable and it's a fun little bag. And then I also have this one that I keep in my purse. It's really small, but it's good for when you're going to like a regular store, if you're going to Walmart or clothing shopping, because their bags are normally really big and bulky. And you can actually just unfold it like this. It's really lightweight. It's also really good for produce. But anytime that you just happen to need a bag, then you have one. So the giant green trash can in front of my house really doesn't get a whole lot of use. I put it out every couple of weeks or once a week if it really just needs to get out. But I try to put as little stuff in there as possible. So today I'm going to discuss some issues and solutions that have been becoming more and more popular. The first being the automobile industry. Second being alternative power methods, and the third being domestic issues and things that you can do in your home, similar to things that I do in my home. I will also address how the average person can use this information to help make a difference, because it will take everyone doing their part to stop the damage that we've already done. So most of you are aware that the automobile industry has been in turmoil for the past year or so. Besides all the economic issues that they've had, they've also seen a huge demand for more fuel-efficient vehicles. Between rising gas prices and the wars in the Middle East, those are one big reason for the increase in demand. But another reason is because we've begun to realize the effect that us driving all over the place is having on the environment. Now, on May 19, 2009, President Obama signed the National Fuel Efficiency Policy. Now, according to www.whitehouse.gov, the Department of Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood said that President Obama is uniting federal and state governments, the auto industry, labor unions, and the environmental community behind a program that will provide for the biggest leap in history to make automobiles more fuel efficient. This program lessens our dependence on oil and is good for America and the planet. It's kind of a big deal. The policy states that all new vehicles put out between 2012 and 2016 will have to be at least 35.5 miles per gallon standard. And you know how competitive the automobile industry is. It's very likely that they'll be even more higher mile per gallon. But this at 35.5, this will save the United States 1.8 billion barrels of oil over the life of that program, over that 4-year course of time. So this gives people no choice but to make a better decision for the environment. And of course, if you want to do something to start counteracting the effects on the environment that cars have now, there are a lot of cars that are already out there, hybrids, that you can look into getting. Or you can also make sure that when you're running around and driving around that you plan your trips better, you kind of use less mileage, use less gas, or you can always get outside and walk. Now, finding types of alternative energy are actually pretty exciting right now. Every day it seems like a scientist or student is coming up with some new way of producing energy as opposed to burning fuels and oils. One thing I heard the other day is gyms that are using the power from their patrons that are treadmilling and working out and using that to actually power the gyms. Wind power, solar power, and ocean power are all starting to really become a reality, and you're really seeing them come into use in a lot of ways. It's very interesting. But there are more tax breaks right now, so it's giving people an incentive to use these different types of power. And then on top of it, of course, you save money on electricity when you're providing yourself with your own. Walmart stores are actually covering the roofs with solar power panels and using that to power the stores. I recently also watched an interview where President Obama was at an old Maytag factory, which had been closed down, but it is now back open. The jobs have been given back to a lot of the workers that were there that were laid off. Now they're producing wind turbines, which are going to help produce better wind energy for generally in the Midwestern area of America. So while you may not get much benefit by putting a windmill in your backyard, you can hook up some solar power or get a geothermal water heater. That's also something that you can get a tax break for. And there are also many new products designed to help you save water, like low pressure toilets and faucets and things like that. So finally, on to the sad story of the plastic shopping bag, the most overlooked yet very important item of convenience. Now, these bags are beginning to be banned, taxed, and charged for all over the world. Now, it turns out that the bags are the environment's pretty much worst enemy. It takes about 20 million barrels of oil to make 5 trillion plastic bags. Americans alone use 380 billion plastic bags and throw away approximately 100 billion of them per year. Only about 1% of these bags are recycled. And that's from abcnews.com. Earlier this year, not very long ago, there was a Brazilian plane crash, and the investigators thought that they had found some of the wreckage from the plane. Well, it turned out that it was actually ocean trash, mostly plastic, that's just floating out there in the ocean. It gets trapped in where the currents swirl out in the ocean, and it's not going to break down. It takes over 100 years for those plastics to break down. There's just not any solution for that. In 2007, the city of San Francisco voted to ban plastic bags from their stores. And then in May of 2009, the Los Angeles City Council voted to ban plastic bags beginning in July of 2010. Now, shoppers can bring their own bags, or they can pay 25 cents to buy a biodegradable bag or a paper bag. So while it's pretty clear that using reusable bags is a good idea, you should know that pretty soon it's going to be mandatory. Also making sure that you're recycling the plastic bags that you do use. My trash company collects my recycling once a week, and my local grocery store also has a bin where you can put in your plastic bags or your paper bags. And honestly, sometimes I forget to bring my bags with me, or I don't bring enough. So I do use plastic bags. Unfortunately, I'm not charged for them, but I know I can bring them back to the store and recycle them. At least that helps me feel a little better about it. Now, although it's going to take a lot of time, energy, and global communication to heal our planet, it is a possibility that needs to be a reality. We have the knowledge and the tools to live the best way we can to help the planet, and it's just a matter of changing these bad habits and getting our hands a little dirty right now. My recycling company used to only take a limited amount of recycling products, and recently I found out that they actually have subcontracted a company in Mobile. So they will actually take pretty much everything, and they send it to Mobile and they sort it out there. So I don't even have to sort it. All I have to do is put it in a bin and put it out front of my house. How easy is that? Anybody can do it. The government is finally getting the ball rolling for the country as a whole to move forward, but you don't have to wait for these policies to kick in. There are many easy ways to be concerned and proactive global citizens. All it takes is a little good old-fashioned hard work and some commitment. Thank you.